Hey, what's going on there, everybody? It's the Sammy Leggett here representing Team JVS. Here you guys, another movie review, and we are back in the world of John Wick. And with the crazy conclusion of John Wick 4, and seemingly looking like we weren't going to get anything else coming out of CinemaCon, we got a huge announcement, got crazy things yet to come. But first on deck is Ballerina. This has been in, I think, post-production for the past 3 years. I think when they were shooting get on the tail end of John Wick 4, they were starting to go through this. And even before they even casted the amazing actress and Ana de Armas as the main character, they were plotting where this was going to go. So, this is a huge cast. Not only is Ana de Armas playing the role of Eve, our main character is the ballerina. You've got Norman Reedus. You got Ian McShane back. You got Angelica Houston back as the director. And then you got an interesting antagonist format of Gabriel Bryan as the Chandler. This is also, I believe, Lance Riddick's final role. And of course, our very own Baba Yaga in Keanu Reeves. So, what did I think about this? It was freaking dope. I'm going to be very, very clear about this. This to me had a way more concise and effective storyline than John Wick 4. With John Wick 4, what it was a build up to send off. You're getting like all nails to the head, stunts. You're getting a wrap up of a story arc that has lasted through 3 different movies and effectively the end of Keanu Reeves' story. But with this one, this is a brand new character, and the best thing I can say without spoiling too much is that you may or may not have seen this character before, but in the way that they handle it and the way that they set up certain effective things of not just revenge but understanding, it's an effective story, and it actually works really well. It brings me back to what I loved about the first and second John Wick. Like there was a thread to it, and they really nail it home with this one. And I think that I'm gonna go ahead and give the flowers where the flowers are due, and Ana de Armas. So she's an amazing actress, whether you know it or not. She is amazing. In this film, effectively, she had to do 2 different big things. You had to invoke an emotion for you as the viewer to want to rally behind her and not only care, but feel like at any given moment anything could happen. A lot of times when we're looking at John Wick, played by Keanu Reeves, we feel like, man, he's gonna get hurt, he's gonna beat up, but like he's the Baba Yaga, like he's gonna last. With this film, they show very early on, like there are certain vulnerabilities that she has, and there are certain limitations that do not make her superhuman, albeit she is very violent, albeit there are things that she can put herself through and has to mentally and physically. You feel like, man, she's gonna have to cut corners in order to survive. And I love that aspect. There are moments in this film where you see her be unbelievably creative in her violence. And it's because she has to think about it differently when the odds are stacked against her. When you got like a room where you got one person going through another door, another person going through the back door, another person is crawling at the bottom. Like if you're, John Wick 1, you got a suit that's like impenetrable, but at the same time, you're so quick, you know where things are going to go. At any given moment, she has no idea how this is going to work out. And so, from a stunt choreography standpoint, she is thorough. And I love how they build up to it. It's not an immediate thing. They really do hit home that she had to work her butt off to get to this. There are moments that you're gonna be thrown off by and people you may see, and it's so fun. Like it was at a certain moment watching the film, and there are so many different like locations they shoot at, different set locations, different moments of violence, and that's gonna be my second big hype for this. But I honestly started having a smile on my face. And a lot of times you go to the movie theaters and you are compelled, you cry, and you have a fun time, but it's a rarity you're watching something and all of a sudden you start to smile because you know how this is going. And this is that good. And what I mean by they do a great job with the set designs, there's never a moment in this film that I don't see the action that's going on. There's never a moment where, you know, you see one of the main characters or one of the antagonists walking through a corridor and something or violence is about to happen or something unspeakable about to happen. That it's not an overhead shot, or it's not a close-up shot, or it's not a long drawn out shot. So you can see everything that's going on. And that's the genius of Chad. Chad knows how to direct action. He is a genius of it. In a perfect world, what I would love to see is Gareth Gareth Evans and Chad working together on a film. Because I mean, you got the raid and the things that Chad is able to bring from a stunt choreography standpoint. Ugh, I would love something like that. But there are great shots. One of the things that bothered me so much about the Karate Kid movie, even though it had good stunts and I could feel like it was there, I couldn't see it and I couldn't feel it and I couldn't believe it. And all these different moments, not only do I believe that they put in the work for it, but I could see it. The payoff was there on screen. And a lot of times, a lot of action movies, when they try to go and do deep cuts and try to deal with pacing really quickly, they miss out on those shots. And there are so many different crazy setup scenarios in this film of death, dismemberment, and craziness that there are creative ways in this that I haven't even seen John do. Oh my gosh, this ice skating ring moment that anyway, they hit the ground running. Again, there are other, without saying too much, there are other things that are going on that you need to pay attention to. If you're a fan of the franchise, you'll understand. One thing I will divulge to everybody, because I think it's been explicitly said, that this does take place between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4. So you may see the Baba Yaga in this film, but you're not going to understand the context. And I think that is one thing that I'm not going to divulge, and one thing that makes this so much more fun, because you never know where it's going to end up or how the character is going to turn up. Another thing they do a really good job with, I think, is also even with Norman Reedus' character. They do something very interesting here that I didn't necessarily anticipate. But I think they keep me guessing throughout the film. It's not just like, you know, good stage presence, good acting. Every single moment, I'm kind of left guessing, where are we going here? And I love that fact about this film. I had such a blast with this. I actually think from a narrative perspective, structurally, this is in line with the first and the second films. And not to say that the third one isn't good or great. It is in its own right. And I think a lot of things that they do in the fourth one are noteworthy from a stunt standpoint, and also from what they built from the franchise. It's almost like a celebration of the franchise more so than a fourth movie. But this is its own contained story. This is its own moment, and this is its own character. And they really do carve out of stone something very magical. And I mean, huge shout out to Lance Riddick in this being his last film. He was always great in this franchise, as much as even Ian Shane is. But this is a day one. You cannot miss this film. Ballerina is everything you hope for and everything you absolutely need from a action, violence, entertainment. If you're an action junkie, like if you love The Raid, or if you love the John Wick franchise, or if you love just bar none, there's a moment in the beginning of the film where, you know, the main character has never even killed anybody, but they're put in a situation, and it's such an interesting build up to show who she becomes, because the next transition takes place months later, and all of a sudden, like, you see something that's in the street that comes out of nowhere, and I was like, yes, this is it. So for me, this is a 9 out of 10. I actually really freaking enjoyed this. I cannot wait to watch it again. I can't wait to rewatch the series. Yeah, so go and check out this film from the John Wick era, Ballerina. I'll talk to you guys a bit later on. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thank you guys so much for following. We got a lot more content coming, so you do not want to miss it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace, everybody. Falling off the top of the
It's on my timeline.